Hi, my name is Joseph Alai.
Hi, and I'm Athena Raven.
Welcome to my channel, and this is a collaboration part 2. Make sure you check out the previous part of the collaboration video, and it's essentially a Q&A based upon our subscribers' questions. Ever since we have went public with our relationship as manifestation coaches, we've been getting a lot of questions just about the way manifesting works as it relates to specific people. Most people don't have the inner workings available to them as to what another person thinks, how another person acts, what's going on behind the scenes of a bridge of incidents when it's involving another people. In fact, most people, when they're manifesting someone else, they will never tell that other person that they're manifesting them. But in this case, like I said, because of our unique positions, we're capable of doing that. But from your questions, we want to provide you some insight into the way that manifesting has with each other has impacted our lives. One of the first questions that we've been asked, and I think this is a brilliant question. Actually, it was kind of a last minute thing. We forgot about this until just a minute before Athena remembered. But it's on why did as people who are manifesting experts through your. This is the way the question was phrased. Why did we choose to manifest new people? Meaning, why did I manifest her and she manifest me, as opposed to fixing our prior relationships? And I think this is an excellent question. And I think for both Athena and myself, I can speak for both of us initially in saying that it has been a pleasure manifesting each other, as opposed to what can normally take place when we're manifesting a specific person, right? Athena and I both have manifested specific people. I've manifested multiple people. I've gone through the harsh conditions and trials by fire of manifesting a specific person. I think for most people that come to my channel or Athena's channel, and I say most, not all, but they are in the process of, or at some point in their life have manifested a specific person. I know for me, in my earliest experiences were really, really harsh on the heart, right? When we're talking about matters of the heart and we're talking about manifesting, there sometimes is nothing more complex, or so it can seem, or something that can seem, there's nothing that seems more difficult, so to speak, at times than manifesting a specific person. For many reasons. We're talking about you have to control your mind to a degree that you're not impacted as much, that you can detach from the situation so you're not obsessed. We're talking about matters of the heart. We're talking about love. There's nothing stronger than that emotion of love. And so attachment in and of itself can be something, when we're talking about imagining and we have to move on and live in the state as if we already have it, well, what do you do when you're interacting with that individual? How do you carry on your day-to-day? How are you not so, how can you move past that idea or the mindset of being so debilitated by heartache that you can maintain this image in your mind that you're married to a specific person? Or what happens when you bring them back into your life and they're acting in a way where the behaviors are deplorable, or they're not treating you the way that you deserve to be treated? Yeah. There's so many different ways, and I know, and I'll cut to the chase. For me, I've gone through all of that. I've manifested successfully specific people. It's not, for me today, having done this for years now, I said it has been a pleasure to manifest Athena. That is not the case with any of the situations that I was in with a specific person. And for me, the majority of them has been after a breakup. It's just not nice. Really, how much simpler does it get than writing down a list entitled wife and listing down 70, 80, you don't even have to do this, by the way, to do that many, 70, 80 different criteria, and just put it down, and then poof, out of thin air, you get some beautiful chick knocking on your door telling you she wants to freaking be with you, wants to marry you. What?
Did I say
That's
this?
Ridiculous. Listen. But for real, right? For real, how much easier can it get, right? So I'm not going to get too deep into the nuances. We can make a whole video on the pros and cons and trials and errors between manifesting specific people and general people. But what I can say to you is this: if you gave me the opportunity right now to take, say there was some fantasy, fictitious girl of my dreams that was not her, which is impossible because she is the girl of my dreams. I've literally wrote it out on a piece of paper. But say it wasn't her, and say her and I, this fictitious person and I dated, and things went south. And now I was given a chance. Okay, do I want to manifest this person back, or do I want to manifest a new perfect person? What would I choose? 100% of the time, every single time, I would go a new perfect person because of the ease, the pleasure, the simplicity, and just all of that. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been on the journey a long time. So when I, just over 20 years ago, then there was one of my very first major manifestations was my very first love. And then from there, I think I've manifested numerous SPs that either been for a relationship or they've been for like a reconnecting of a friendship. Maybe it was an ex that I didn't want to date again, but I just wanted to be friends, or maybe they're not so bad. The ones that you're doing out of heartbreak, like my very first one, that was really, really difficult. And the thing with that as well is that because you've got a history with that person, because we all get attached to a specific person, we make that person the be all and end all, this is the person who's going to make me happy. Out of billions and billions of people on this planet, it's just the one. But first of all, that puts me in a scarcity mindset. And I put myself in that scarcity mindset numerous times. Now, can you have them back? Yes. Can you have them back conformed? Yes, you can. The problem is as well, though, we're still human at the end of the day. And even though I've done it a few times, and like I say, there's a couple of my exes who I'd manifested back, and still to this day I'm like best friends with. Joseph's even met them as well. Like, they've just been a continuous part of my life all those years. Even though I'd had my desire, it played out. And the thing is, the reason why second time around, it was great. However, my desires still changed. However, they still weren't the perfect person. However, the way that they were still kept me very strong to my beliefs that I didn't want to get married and settle down. And really it was because it was the type of person. So yeah, they might have been a better version. However, I was going in with the preconceptions of what I knew of them before. I could never imagine my perfect person as someone who was a business owner, for example, with the way that he was and all the history that we'd had. I could imagine a better version of him treating me better, but not someone who had the same aspirations as me or the same goals, or I just didn't seem to go there. So it's so much easier to start with a blank canvas where you're starting from new. And I guess now, after this manifestation, I'm thinking to myself, I do realize now, actually, and you the same, I think the limitations. So I don't think you realize how much you limit yourself when you go for a specific person. It's only that person. It's a little bit like manifesting money, isn't it? At the end of it, we want to be financially wealthy, but some people are so hell-bent on, but it must be a lottery win, in which case I've suddenly given myself such a scarcity, whereas there's an abundance of ways it could come to me, an abundance of people, abundance of currencies, abundance of, what do we care at the end of the day? What we're chasing for is that feeling. But yeah, I'm the same way. This is why with my relationship, I knew that yes, I could manifest a better version of him. I could manifest to fix my relationship before, Joseph came in. And it just wasn't, first of all, it wasn't my desire. I didn't want to stay in that relationship, so I didn't bother trying to fix it. I suppose the same for you as well. It was just easier to start with a blank canvas. 100%. There was too much history. I'd been with that person for 8 years, so it had been too much to rewrite. It just wasn't worth it, And
there's a lot really that plays into that, and we could easily make a video, a full-length, double-part video just on that topic alone, just because of what is involved with that. But consider this. With a specific person, how many individuals here, and you can write it in the comments below, for both people, for if you've ever manifested a specific person versus a perfect person, in the comments, just go ahead and write down how long it took you to do so, or if it hasn't happened yet, how long has the process been? And I'll tell you right now, there's been a variation of effort involved in both cases. But I'll tell you what the difference is. When manifesting a specific person, there is an intensity of mental focus and strength. Constitution has to be strong. Your intention has to be strong. Your focus has to be strong. Your effort has to be strong. Your internal effort that it takes for you to maintain, even for just a short time of imagining, the fulfilled end within the mind. But in most cases, when it comes to a specific person, it's days, weeks, not days, weeks or months. The majority of times it has taken myself to manifest a specific person. And what I'm talking about is the effort involved, the day after day of meticulously constructing the imaginal scenes, the visualizing the inner conversations, the night after night, the combating of the thoughts, the battling of the self-loathing and fears and doubts and insecurities. The amount of effort involved, stacked on top of each other, day after day, would take months, and then I would see the fulfilled end, if that, or then it would appear in front of me, and then it would lead me towards that end. But in this case, the effort that it took for me to the deliberate effort designed to manifest my person, and the totality of work that I put in was about 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes was me constructing a list that consisted of, first the title was wife, and the second part of it was the list of all the criteria, the physical criteria and the non-physical criteria, the attributes of both her and I combined. That took about 20 minutes for me to construct a list in first person perspective, and then I closed that book, that journal. After that 20 minutes, never looked at it again. Never thought of it again, never felt it again. I wrote the list and that was it. Boom. And then 4.5 years later, after completely and totally forgetting about it, with 100% of forgetfulness, all of a sudden, poof, this one sends me a voice message. And the rest was history. Within a matter of weeks, I was in England and we've decided to be together, and things have gone swimmingly, perfectly. That was, and which would you prefer? The agonizing strain and pressure of attempting to change your entire mind in order to compel a person to love you, who in my perspective, now when I look back, I won't get into that actually, but the how I put myself in a better position by what I'm getting at is how I used to put them on a pedestal and think that I wanted them, but I wanted them differently. But really what I was saying is I didn't want them. I wanted someone else to meet this criteria, right? That's literally what you're saying. If you're saying I want them exactly as they are, then, well, they're not with you. So that's exactly how they are. And in this case, it was different. In this case, it was I want this person and I want this person with me, meaning this perfect person, and then poof, there they are, and they are with me. I didn't have to change a thing. So that's kind of my point.
Yeah, it's just easier, isn't it? Like I say, no preconceptions, no history, not looking at them through the same lenses anymore. Which, I mean, with a specific person you've known as well, you shift your state. But as Joseph was saying, it can take a bit of work. So I wasn't about to do that with my last relationship. I already decided I was going to go for new, and think you the same as well. It just wasn't even worth trying to change the situation with her.
No,
make it more
no way.
harmonious, or
No
see
way
her a
in
certain
hell.
way, you know?
No way in hell.
Plus, I think, because you wrote that list and then you met her.
That's correct.
So now I'm thinking, so she was obviously came to play a part in this manifestation.
She
She
did.
had to be a certain way.
Yes.
With this certain toxicity. So that's why you had no desire to fix it as well, because that wasn't part of the bridge of incidents for his
Which she's touched a point that is 100% true. I had no desire to fix that relationship. I literally said, my internal judgment was, I am going to ride this out to bear witness to my creation until its end. That was my internal dialogue, literally. But that in and of itself had to be how it was in order for me to manifest her. Because if I sat there and tried to meticulously change this ex into being the ideal person, then this wouldn't have happened in the way that it did.
Exactly. And then same for me as well. It wasn't part of my desire to fix my relationship with my ex. So that had to unfold in a certain way for this to be fulfilled. So that was a really common question that we got. That also leads into this sort of level of closeness that we have and thought transmission.
Yes.
That you get a lot in the community.
Yeah, people what?
We discussed this a lot, isn't it? Because I asked you, do you believe in thought transmission? Like, I've never had it before where I have consciously sat there trying to transmit a thought to someone and get them to reflect it back, or affirmed it just to have them reflect it. I don't believe that we're transmitting. I always believe that we're reflecting, that people are just reflecting you. And I think because a few times you and I have said about how we're like the same person, we're just the same in so many ways. Because of how our listeners, look at this boy. Well, because we're so the same in many ways, I suppose it stands to reason that is inclusive of a lot of our thoughts that we would have, is we're the same type of person, have the same type of thoughts. And so there were times that, like, I went to the shops and I got influenced by Joseph's thought. What are you doing to the poor boy?
I need his close up. Isn't he so handsome? I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you.
Love him. Look at him. He's just flopped on you. This little bum in my face.
Yes.
But yeah, then I had this inkling to just go inside and purchase razors. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
He hadn't asked for any, hadn't said that he was low on any. I just purchased some. And I think when I came home, you had said something about, you were thinking about,
so check it out, right? Essentially what happened was I was about to shower and I was looking at what I had, and I was low on razors, and I took out my phone to message her, and I took out WhatsApp and I had the message typed in, and the message said, can you pick me up some razors? But then I decided in my mind that, and I was like, you know what? I'll just get it when I'm out. That was my thought. And so it was on my phone, and I had just, put my phone aside. And when she came back with the razors, I still had the message typed in on my phone that I had was about to send her, but never did. But that's only one.
That you'd actually written it out.
Yes.
There were so many other very weird things. Like, I would be in a sleepy state. Maybe it was before bed, or maybe, would just hug you or something. You just feel kind of tired. And I would have this thought, and a couple of times he's done it where he's responded. And I was like,
oh
my
my
out
God,
loud, or are you reading
yes,
my mind?
Oh my God,
so
yes, you and me both would be in a drowsy, sleepy state. I would say something out loud that was half dreaming, and it would answer her question that she had in her mind that she never spoke out loud. What the hell is that?
So confusing, because I literally thought.
And she would say
that out loud.
Yeah.
Or there was I asked something in my head, and then you just went and I was like, why did you do that? I said,
and I was like,
what were you answering?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Crazy.
But this is with no intention. These are very natural things that happen, and I think that's just a reflection of our core state, which is like we always say we're like one in the same person. We're just so similar, and we always get comments about how we even look alike, and we're
brother and
act
sister
alike, and things like that. So I suppose it stands to reason that we would have quite similar.
Yeah, thoughts. A lot of our state would match. So even if you took away the part to think that I was transferring a thought to her or vice versa, the way that we are so similar, which by the way would come from either probably my list to say that we are perfectly compatible. We have perfect communication, perfect this, perfect that. Then that would essentially mean that we would have similar thoughts as well. So if you took away the magic thought of a transmitting thought, however, the fact that we share consciousness, meaning you and me, meaning you viewer, me, Athena, also does lend to the theory that my thoughts are also equally, instantly available to her as well. And likely there's something happening behind the scenes that because we are so close, not in physical, I mean, I think there would be something that would happen when you physically spend so much time with someone, but that we are so emotionally and spiritually connected on many different levels that there would be some availability of my thoughts to her. And likewise in the opposite direction. And even when we're not even aware, like I'm answering a question that I didn't even know I'm answering just by going, I'm like, why am I saying, But it's happened many times, not just once.
Half asleep.
What? And you're like, what?
And even actually, but other people get influenced by our thoughts and vice versa too. Haven't we had it where we thought about something, we thought about doing something, for example, like setting up a community thing, this Discord or coaching together. I think we were even joking about doing that. And then people started asking us a question, when are you going to coach together? Which kind of leads us into the next question. Because a few people have asked about if we would do joint.
So and that's many people have asked, are you going to do Athena group coaching together? So this is what we're doing though. what we are doing is I have set up, and it should be finished by the time you've watched this video anyway, but I've set up a Patreon, which essentially is linked into a Discord. And in Discord, we have a community. It's a community for manifestors. A community for manifestors that are serious. If you are seasoned or attempting to be so, you want to be involved with the community, you want to read success stories, chat with people live so that you can have this lifestyle of manifesting embedded into you so that you yourself can always have that community to lean on. I mean, that is absolutely paramount. I firmly believe in my life and my experience, if I had a community of manifestors to lean on from the beginning, which by the way, there was nothing like that, then I would have. Now, there's benefits to me having done this solo up until the point where I have. So if I had something that was accurate, that had results driven, that actually worked from people who knew what they were talking about, who had the experience, it would have changed the course of my life. I would have gotten to where I am now far long ago. I wouldn't have suffered a lot of the sufferings that I have suffered. Like I said, there's all pros and cons to that. I'm grateful for everything that I've been through, but my God, if I had that, it would have changed everything. Just to know that I wasn't alone, just to know that people have gone there before. So anyway, point being is with the group coaching type of stuff, do you want to mention anything else about that?
We've had a few ideas floating around.
There's ideas floating around, yeah.
I think until we get more solid with some of those, but of course with this Discord, I mean, there's going to be different tiers to it, depending on your level of interest to get involved. But for a lot of you, it is about just having that community. And we have such a beautiful community. We're really blessed to have you guys on the journey with us. So it's just a little place for you all to hang out. And then, of course, if you want to go further up into coaching and group coaching, we're going to be involved with some of that, aren't we? I don't know if we've discovered exactly how we're going to
I'll tell you this.
do it.
I'll tell you this. Generally, oops, I've hit the microphone. Before or around the time when our videos are scheduled and our premieres, we will be there on the channels speaking with everyone. So that will in and of itself have a tinge of group coaching-esque sort of Q&A style stuff that you can always stay in contact. We want to have essentially our community not just start and end right before our video starts and right after our video premiere ends. We want to have the community rolling so people can really get close to each other and get these ideas drilled into their skulls so you can I know, I am drastic. So you can effectively get whatever you want. The truth is that you can. Anyone who says you can't or that you need to reach some level of this, listen, no condition can ever prevent you from manifesting anything. It doesn't matter how happy you are. I said this in the last video, I think. Happy, sad,
don't be happy.
Fat, how much you hate yourself. I made a video on TikTok recently about when I hate myself more than anything or anyone could possibly imagine is when I manifest the best. Right?
Such a ridiculous video.
But true, right? I didn't know what self-love was until until my channel was freaking at 70,000, right? Didn't matter. I still manifested everything in my life. I manifested women. I manifested success. I manifested money. I manifested health stuff.
It is true. Same.
Point being is, we want this community there so that you don't get washed away by the ridiculousness that is, right? That you've read somewhere or whatever, right? You can manifest whatever you want at any given time. So my point being is, This is what the community is going to be able to do, is guide you in a way. There's going to be great leadership there, so people aren't going to get carried away with nonsense. You can know exactly what you need to know. You can read what you need to read. You can see the success stories, and you'll also be able to possibly get recruited into being a tester for some possible up-and-coming technologies that...
You'll have the inside scoop.
The inside scoop of ice cream. Anyway,
we can't reveal too much yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
So check it out though. But with that, right, links in the description. That's really important. Also, make sure you go ahead and watch the other part of this video, Athena Raven. Subscribe to her channel if you haven't. And if you want to manifest in a way that is predictable, if you want to stop hoping, right? No more hope manifesting. Subscribe to this channel. Right, hit the bell icon so that you can stay informed. Tuesdays, Fridays, those are my release dates, and then I release shorts basically every other day of the week. We are continuously going to be releasing excellent collaboration content. We ourselves have something very unique to offer in that we have the inside scoop of ice cream as to how to manifest a specific person, what people think, how they act, what actions they'll take, the bridge of incidents, what to do when there's insurmountable problems. Doesn't matter. So stay tuned for everything to come.
We'll do some more Q&As as well. So if you've got questions, feel free to send them along.
Also, I haven't mentioned this recently, but your success stories in the comments have been changing lives. So if you have found success through this channel, right? Write your success stories below. Help share with the newbies that this works. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to raise your vibration. You don't have to believe anything. Just manifest by the book and you'll get whatever you want.
I want to raise my vibration.
I have an electric socket and a fork.
Okay, let's do it.
On that note, thank you so much. Joseph Alai here.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.